heart of Pittsburgh at Mount Washington Shop and Save. At Mount Washington Shop and Save, we're more than just a grocery store. We're your neighborhood destination. From the freshest local produce to gourmet delights, we've got it all under one roof. Experience convenience, quality, and savings, all in the heart of Mount Washington. Mount Washington Shop and Save, where Pittsburgh shops with a view. Shop smart, shop local, shop Mount Washington Shop and Save.
Play It Again Sports in Greensburg is your locally owned and operated sporting goods store. We set ourselves apart by offering a wide variety of both new and used equipment at competitive prices. Located in the Greengate East Plaza, below Walmart, Play It Again Sports' knowledgeable staff will help you and your family prepare for every athletic season. Whether you're looking to buy, sell, or trade, we are here as your one-stop shop. At Play It Again Sports in Greensburg, everybody plays.
Thank you for calling Penny, PA's health insurance marketplace. How can I help you?
I need help paying my health insurance premiums.
You came to the right place. Penny gets you the lowest costs on high-quality plans.
Enroll now at penny.com. Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
Three days away from Christmas Day and the final basketball action until we flip the calendar to the new year at Baldwin High School between the Albert Gallatin Colonials and your Fighting Highlanders right here on TenbandTV, the Baldwin Sports Channel's coverage of Baldwin basketball. Hi, everyone. We welcome you courtside. Austin Bechtold and Ethan Spazarski alongside for the final doubleheader night of 2025 as the Baldwin girls are on a roll. Ethan, winners of 6 in a row after losing the first game of the year against Shadyside Academy. They've come out as a very confident team and a different team, losing just one senior, very impactful to the rotation, in Mary Vargo from a year ago. This is a Baldwin team with a lot of hope and potential on its side.
Exactly, and the nice thing, too, is they've won 6 games in a row, and it's been of different variety, too. You're not winning just close games. You're also dominating different kinds of games as well. I mean, Pine Richland falls in the domination category, and along with South Park, but then you got some close wins, like against Upper St. Clair, Penn Trafford, and most importantly, probably Peters Township in a close one there. You give up a 14-point lead, but resilience was a key factor. You win by 7 versus the defending section champions there in Peters Township as well. But overall, right now, Baldwin is on a roll offensively, and they're playing complementary basketball as well, defensively standing tall. And it's just also a really nice chance for Baldwin to get on the right side and continue to stay on the right side against a team they fared very well against, including last year, and against a team that hasn't won a single game this year in Albert Gallatin.
Yeah, and this is a matchup that should be favorable for Baldwin. Could have an opportunity to see a lot of players that don't see the floor too often, and a chance to get some rest, get ready, but you got to take care of business. Can't take anybody lightly, despite a number that we're about to tell you that is so very concerning for Albert Gallatin. But first, we pause for our national anthem between the 6-1 Fighting Highlanders and the 0-6 Albert Gallatin Colonials. So in their 6 games so far this season for Albert Gallatin, they have played the last 3 in section action. The first losing to Uniontown 48-18, only scoring 18 points. The next 2, I don't even know what the correct word is to describe. Very unfortunate at Bethel Park, 69-9, outscored by 60 points. And they were outscored by 61 against Thomas Jefferson, 70-9. In those 2 games, Ethan, they were outscored 139-18.
Yeah, I mean, overall, it hasn't looked much better either. Overall, this team has scored only 103 points on the entire season, averaging just a hair over 17 points per game when they're allowing 56 to their opponents and well over 300 points allowed this season. Last season, this was an Albert Gallatin team that finished with 8 wins. They had two game win streaks along with a 3-game win streak last year where they were able to score over 400 points alone in that time span. So time has not fared well for the Albert Gallatin Colonials, especially here early on in the season.
The Colonials, under first-year head coach Shandon Marshall, played 4 years at Brownsville as a 1,000-point scorer in high school, and is now trying to give back to Albert Gallatin and get this program rolling as Brad Schulte presents the starting lineups for the Fighting Highlanders. So the starting 5 for the Albert Gallatin Colonials, a couple of holdovers from a season ago, including their leading senior, Michaela Shea, a senior that wears number 23 at 5'8" guard. Peyton Gibson, a sophomore center, tallest player on the floor tonight at 6'1", wears 24. Maggie Quertenmont wears number 34, a junior, 5'8" guard. With a couple of sophomores in the lineup, Karina Samuel, a sophomore, 5'8" guard, wears number 4. And Peyton Lovis, a sophomore 5'2" guard, wears number 3 for Shandon Marshall. And for the Fighting Highlanders, their starting 5, as it's been throughout the season. Lindsey Bernanis, the junior guard, wears number 1, with Jules Ott, the senior, wearing number 2. Kelsey Meyer, the junior, wears 22, with Isabella Niles, the senior, wearing 25. And Hannah Prillo will jump it up, the sophomore forward, wearing number 35 for Baldwin in its home whites with purple numbers and purple trim. Black road uniforms with white numbers and black trim for Albert Gallatin, who wins the tip back on the win for Gibson. And it starts up top for the Colonials. And swung around into the hands of Gibson. On the perimeter, stolen away right away by Bernatis. And Lindsay goes all the way in for the easy layup.
Yeah, Lindsay Bernatis coming off of a career game, 36-point affair last time out versus the Trinity Hillers. Look to her to continue to follow that up. I mean, aggressive defense is what Baldwin's been known for, and Lindsay Bernatis keeps that trend alive. And
Albert Gallatin, only 8 players on its team, on the varsity squad. We'll bring 3 off the bench, as it's Horton Most giving it up for the 3 ball. That bounces just off the mark for Shea, and it's taken by Meyer. Kelsey Meyer, bounce pass. Good find, the Niles for the layup.
Yeah, Isabella Niles, last time we were out here, wasn't really producing a lot early on.
And a steal right off the inbounds for Bernatis, and a quick timeout called by Albert Gallatin.
Yeah, I mean, last time out, Isabella Niles took her a little bit until the second half to start to find her groove. However, this time wasting no time, collects a really good pass early on, takes an easy layup, and then Lindsay Bernatis wastes no more time. She continues to get on a roll. 4 points already in the first, not even 2 minutes of action.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of learning moments and learning experiences for Shandon Marshall's club. For Albert Gallatin, 0-2 so far on the road. So of those 6 games, 2 on the road, 1 at neutral site, and 0-3 on the road, including an 0-3 record in section action. The losses to Uniontown, Bethel Park, and Thomas Jefferson. It started with a loss at Connellsville in the Laurel Highlands tournament. Actually played at Laurel Highlands against Connellsville, 55-17. But the closest game was against Laurel Highlands, 41-31. The Closest game to date so far. That a 12-point defeat for the Colonials. And as Michaela Shea gives it up, but it's taken away by Meyer trying to rip at it. And it results in a jump ball fighting with Gibson. And will result in the Baldwin possession.
Yeah, last year Gallatin won 2 of their first 6 games. Both were against Connellsville, and they've already lost both games against Connellsville this season early on, so definitely not trending in that right direction. However, Gallatin hasn't been, it's also, they're facing a lot of really good competition. They were put into a section that has a lot of depth and a lot of really good athletes as well.
Ott swings across court to Meyer. Kelsey on the jump stop. Can't hit it. Fight for the offensive rebound is going to result in a foul on Prillo.
Something we've seen early on, too. Hannah Prilla finding herself in early foul trouble against Peters Township. She had 2 fouls in that first half for Trillian Fairwell, which meant she wasn't really getting a lot of minutes early on, which meant J.C. Klingensmith found her way into the rotation as well.
So Baldwin does deploy the press. And Shea is going to try to dribble out of it and does. Gets around Meyer. Shea swings across court. Inside. Layup is good. Gortonmont with the points.
Yeah, so far early on, despite this first points for Gallatin, their passing's not been bad. They've been able to get some open looks.
Here's Bernardis. Lindsay still has it. Gives it up to Ott. Jules wide open 3 left side wing in. Drains it. Jules Ott first points.
Right through. Really just, when you get an open look and you're able to set your feet, get the shots you want, you're going to get a shot like that doesn't even glance off the rim.
And they bounce it to Lovis. Deflected by Ott and stolen away by Ott. Bounce pass. Bernardis for the layup. Lindsay Bernardis was 6 to start. 3 steals so far for Baldwin. They throw it across. Another steal. It's Niles. Not able to spin it in, though. Ott fights for the offensive rebound with Lovis, but Lovis is able to take it. Peyton Lovis, the 5'2 guard, gets it across. Just trying to hand it over to Shea. And another turnover as Meyer fights for it on the ground, tries to give it to Prilla. Instead, it's Ott trying to chase after it, and it will result in a jump ball that'll keep the possession arrow here.
Yeah, Gallatin's biggest problem so far has definitely been the inbound, because you don't get the best inbound look. That means your transition is going to be more sloppy, and you saw it here over on the sideline, more back and forth fighting between these two.
So Michaela Shea will throw it in and gets it in. Gortonmont swings it up top. Samuel, stolen away by Bernardis, able to stay inbounds. Lindsay with Ott. It's a 2-on-0, and Jules will take the easy layup.
Got to be more impressed there with the ability by Lindsay Bernardis to keep it inbounds. That wasn't the best pass, but Bernardis able to keep it in bounds, transitions down fast. And, Julianne Ott and Bernardis, those two are just like yin and yang, Shaquille and Kobe, if you will. Just, they got a lot of chemistry between each other. They know each other.
So who would be Shaq to dunk the ball, then?
I think you'd have to. I'd go probably Julianne Ott.
You go with Jules Ott.
I think Jules gives more Shaquille, not in the fact of, she's 7'1", but in the fact that Lindsay's definitely shown her ability to shoot from really anywhere and create kind of anything, and especially being able to be physical like Kobe was.
So Albert Gallatin calls another timeout in a 13-2 game. They're averaging just 17 points per game this season. And it's just really difficult, Ethan, when that's the type of performances that, you're putting out there. You try to not have the team be discouraged and try to learn from the moments that are the toughest. And it's a young team, too.
Exactly.
Trying to build something.
Yeah, they're also dealing. You don't have a lot of depth. You're facing really tough competition in 5A Section 4 with teams that are competing that could be even state playoff contenders early on,
right,
like Thomas Jefferson, Peters Township as well. Baldwin, you obviously got to put in that conversation too. So you're trying to make. As a wise professor once told me, and I guess wise is the adjective I'll go with. You're trying to make chicken salad with this. Without chicken, it's just really tough.
And it's stolen away by Ott. Ott has J.C. Klingensmith into the game. Goes to Bernardis. Lindsay pulls for 3 and got it. Moneyball Lindsay Bernardis now with 9 points. So Lacey Bernardis is in. J.C. Klingensmith is on as well as Niles and Meyer go off to the bench. And it's out of bounds. Dribbled out of bounds by Michaela Shea. And it just seems like Albert Gallatin's not able to get even into a half-court rhythm to be able to put together a couple of solid possessions so far as half the quarter has gone by. The clock never started. So they should have ran off about 4 seconds at this point, and they now do. Got to reset at 4:10.
Yeah, early on, Albert Gallatin was showing some pretty good passes and a few good looks on their first few possessions. So, I mean, there was some rhythm to the game, but Baldwin's defense and their ability to press and create awkward situations is starting to show some effects early on.
Here's Ott up top. Swung around Bernatus. Lindsay to Lacey in the corner. Down low. Klingon-Smith. Good find. Lindsay pulls for three. Off the back of the rim, and it's rebounded by Lovis. Lovis gets around Lindsay Bernatus. Lovis, jump stop inside the arc. Off the mark, and the rebound is corralled by Baldwin. It's Ott moving in transition. Great pass to Klingon-Smith, and off one dribble. Layup spins in. J.C. Klingon-Smith, first points. 4 different scores in the night for Baldwin to build a 16-2 lead. Here's Lovis, defended by Lacey Bernatus. Now Quartenmont. Quartenmont drives, gives it up. Lovis pulls, but can't hit. And Klingon-Smith has the rebound. Klingon-Smith in transition. Bounce pass to Bernatus, who now is in double figures with 11. Lindsay Bernatus has 11 of the 18. Albert Gallatin with just 2.
Yeah, I mean, Lindsay Bernatus, and it also helps that she's been able to create her own situations and create opportunities for herself. And again, it helps that there's a lot of complementary basketball going on the defensive side for Baldwin.
Shea looks for an outlet. Goes up top to Gibson. Defended by Prilla. Gibson got it knocked loose by Prilla. Gibson again looking for an outlet. Is able to hand it off. Here's Quartenmount. Now, foul is called. So into the hands of Ott. Swung around to the corner and Prilla. Back to Ott. Similar play they ran the last time. As it's Ott to Klingon-Smith, who was open for 3. Decides to drive in, and J.C. Klingon-Smith can't hit it, though. Fight for the offensive rebound. Still going. It's Ott who has it up top. And down low. Prilla inside the paint and scores off the window.
Yeah, I mean, when you get this kind of game, you're going to see a lot more of a rotation onto the bench, and that means Hannah Prilla is going to create and get some chances offensively. And you saw it there. Her and Klingon-Smith both very aggressive on the offensive boards.
Shea gives it up to the corner. Back up top to Lovis. Lovis trying to get around Lacey Bernatus, who picks up the foul. And it's the first foul on Lacey Bernatus. It's the second against Baldwin in the quarter. No fouls against Albert Gallatin so far. As will be inbounded at the left side block. And it'll be thrown in by Shea. As Niles comes back on, and Prilla will take a seat. So it's Ott, Niles, Klingon-Smith, Lacey Bernatus, and Lindsay Bernatus on the floor for Baldwin. As they're able to get it in. And Lovis makes a move inside, won't shoot 2.
Yeah, and I mean, even Jamal Woodson, even with the game where it stands right now, still being consistent as a coach, making sure his team knows what they can always improve on, because no matter who your opponent is, you need to be consistent throughout your play.
So Lovis' first free throw rattles off. And Jamal, who's decked out in a great Grinch suit today. How about that?
Oh, yeah.
He's got the Grinch on the shirt.
He's the best dressed coach in the WPIAL. I don't think it's close.
He's got the green jacket with the jeans. He's got bright green shoes, too.
I don't think you can make an argument for anyone being able to be as well dressed as he is.
Lacey for 3. That misses. Niles tries to track down the rebound, and instead it's Lindsay Bernatus. Bernatus drives all the way in, gives it up, but a foul call before the pass, which will keep it here. No basket. I had a pair of green shoes that I would wear when I was in school at Baldwin, and they would either be called elf shoes or Grinch shoes by some of my friends. They would make fun of me for it. Those are great shoes.
I would love green shoes like that. I used to have a pair of, this how far back ago, Tony Hawk high tops that had like the color of the rainbow.
Jules Ott for 3. Her second of the night, now with 8. Color of the rainbow.
Yeah, it was orange, there was purple, there was light blue, like you name it, and the color was probably on there. But those are, I think, some of my all-time favorite high tops. And, I mean, unfortunately, don't have such a colorful palette anymore.
Deflected by Niles, picked up by Meyer. Meyer with Niles, good feed, but a little too high. And now Niles to Klingensmith for the bucket. Everyone's getting involved early in a 25-2 game with a minute left. Into the hands of Jenna Myers into the game. And Myers defended by Meyer. It results in a timeout called by Albert Gallatin before any potential jump ball. So Meyer with Myers. And it results in a timeout.
Yeah, early on, I mean, we've seen, I mean, Albert Gallatin hasn't scored a basket in at least probably 4 to 5 minutes, and that's not an official statistic, but I think that number is definitely really close as Albert Gallin's trying to look for any sort of answers. But to, I mean, Shandon Marshall's credit, he is, I mean, he's electric out on the bench. He's really trying to work and communicate with his team, helping them out, trying to help turn this program around. That last year at 8-12 overall showed bits and pieces of promise and ability to compete, but this year definitely needing to right that wrong as they have yet to show that early on.
And the 2 games that these 2 teams played against each other last year were fairly competitive and fairly close games, at least to an extent. The first one was not at Albert Gallatin. It was 74-27, but closer in the second time around, 60-30. And it was really Baldwin pulling away in the second half, where Albert Gallatin ultimately in the section ended up finishing last, tied with Uniontown, both with 1 section win apiece. 8-12 for Albert Gallatin. Uniontown was 5-16. They averaged 41 points per game in section play, but now they're averaging close to single digits. It's bounced to Ott for the layup.
Yeah, I think overall early on, I think Uniontown, first of all, they've already tied their section win last year, currently sitting a nice spot in 4th place in 5A Section 4 right now. But for Albert Gallatin, there's still a lot of season left to be able to find some sort of answers, even if you're not competing for WPIAL section titles.
Up the floor to Klingensmith, and now back to Ott. It's going to be very difficult for anyone to be able to track down South Fayette this year. Probably the favorite to win the state. It's a good bounce pass to Meyer, but she can't hit it. Off the feed from Niles. We'll go to the free throw line with 14.8 remaining in the first quarter.
Yeah, I mean, just for starters, Thomas Jefferson in your section is going to be a tall task in order to keep up with. But, yeah, South Fayette girls basketball, they're already favoring very well to fight for another state title.
Meyer hits the first as all 5 starters have scored for Baldwin. And Albert Gallatin brings Samuel back into the game. Meyer can't hit the second, though. The rebound is taken by Albert Gallatin. Shea brings it slowly up the floor. 8 seconds. Got to go with it now with 6, so she realized how much time is left. Shea can't get off a shot, and the quarter comes to an end. And a 28-2 lead for Baldwin, smothering Albert Gallatin to start, up by 26.
Discover the heart of Pittsburgh at Mount Washington Shop and Save. At Mount Washington Shop and Save, we're more than just a grocery store. We're your neighborhood destination. From the freshest local produce to gourmet delights, we've got it all under one roof. Experience convenience, quality, and savings, all in the heart of Mount Washington. Mount Washington Shop and Save, where Pittsburgh shops with a view. Shop smart, shop local, shop Mount Washington Shop and Save.
Back at Baldwin High School in the final game before the Christmas break. Ostevek told Ethan Spazarski alongside on the Baldwin Sports Channel as Shea drives all the way in, dishes, and it doesn't go out of bounds. It's a good save from Quartermount, who loses the basketball and has to find an outlet. And bounces it to Lovis. Lovis lost it and it's taken away by Bernatis. Lacey to Meyer. Kelsey tracks it down and hits the layup.
Yeah, hot start for her. She's able to get now 3 points on the day after going 1 for 2 from the free throw line just in the waning seconds of that first quarter.
It's a 28-point lead. Here's Shea. Quartermont can't pick up the basketball, now does, with Meyer defending. Lovis drives in, shot up, and rebounded by Lacey Bernadas. Lacey's had a really good start as well, offensively and defensively for the senior. Goes to Ott. It's Ott, Lacey Bernadas, Kelsey Meyer, Bella Niles, and J.C. Klingensmith, the 5 for Baldwin. As Ott gets a screen from Meyer, rolls off of it. Kelsey with a good roll off the screen. A good find from Ott as well. That's just textbook.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they're doing so far. You're seeing a lot of bounce passes, but great feeds overall. Baldwin leading a lot of passes. You're not getting caught behind anybody. Great looks as well. They're executing on a lot of these different types of passes.
Samuel dribbles into the shot. Off the mark, rebound goes to Ott. And it just kind of feels like as Klingensmith gets the feed from Jules Ott.
Yeah, that was a really impressive stretch pass, north to south type things that, I mean, just carried a long span. It carried like half the court.
And what I was about to say is it just feels like the Baldwin is playing at a completely different speed than Albert Gallatin is. And we saw it right there. I'll take the words right out of my mouth. For Samuel up top. With Niles trying to poke it loose. And does with Klingensmith grabbing it off the crossover. Klingensmith to Ott. Jules hits the layup. Well, one concern in that game against Shadyside Academy is that Baldwin struggled so mightily at layups. They were 8 of 31 inside the lane on layups, whether they were contested or not contested. 8 of 31, and that was the game that the only one that they've lost so far, where ever since then they were able to pick up their heads very quickly and win 6 games in a row. And as long as his shot is no good, and Niles is able to tip to Ott. And Baldwin has done so well running in transition tonight as they go to Meyer. Now Klingensmith, foul line jumper. Rattles off. Lacey Bernadas fights for the rebound, but a travel is called as Lacey hit the deck with 5:18 remaining in the half.
I think you did definitely see a little bit of a struggle against Peters Township in that mid-third quarter with layups. We saw, Lacey Bernadas went scoreless in the second half. However, no, for the most part, that's absolutely the correct terminology to talk about because their layups have been definitely more cleaner. We've seen it tonight, and it starts a lot with the passes and where you're placing it. And Baldwin's just leading with each other. They're really communicating well offensively and finding a lot of different open looks.
Love this layup is good. Hit it on a good spot off the glass for her first points.
I mean, Lovis overall has just been Albert Gallatin's most consistent offensive player tonight.
Lindsay Bernadas drives in and scores, now with 13.
And then Lindsay Bernadas able to score already at 13 points. She was able to earn, again, 36 versus Trinity last time out. She's already competing well to break that career high.
Shea looks for an outlet and bounces it. In the corner. Good defense from Natalia Briscoe, who is into the game. That forced a turnover with Niles. Double team comes. Niles gets it back off the missed shot and puts it up and in.
For Niles, I mean, she's able to get down there. Albert Gallatin does a good job trapping her near the baseline. However, that shot goes up, goes nowhere, but Albert Gallatin doesn't follow along with the shot. Niles collects her own missed shot, takes a quick dribble, and takes it right to the boards with authority.
And another coaching moment for Shandon Marshall, played at Penn State Altoona. And, you know, this is a tough job. It's a tough responsibility in his first year to be able to mentor this team and see where they can go with just one senior and a young team, ton of freshmen and sophomores in the rotation.
Exactly. I mean, to an extent, you got to look at it as even if past this year, if you have a team that sticks with it, you got a lot of girls that could be in the system for another 3 years to now and see progression. I mean, freshmen and sophomores throughout the board, like you said, only 2 upperclassmen on this team, 1 senior, 1 junior. The other remaining 6 girls sitting there at a freshman or sophomore level.
So 2 subs in for Baldwin. It's Briscoe checking in, 34, and Aaliyah Bernadas, the third of the 3 Bernadas sisters on the team. A freshman wears number 23 for Baldwin.
the 11 girls on the roster, 3 of them Bernardes's as well.
And Aaliyah Bernardes is the final Bernardes
For the final,
of the bloodline.
I would say the bloodline
Her
is
dad made that very clear to me a couple of weeks ago. He said, I know. He came up to me and said, I know you saw another Bernardes on the sheet. And the family continues. I promise you, this is the last one. And I'm like, hey.
The others have turned out really well.
If there were like 2 or 3 more that just spawned out of nowhere, I mean, it's great blood. That's the best players on the team.
I was going to say, we couldn't hurt you, no.
And when you have Lacey Bernardes, Lindsay Bernardes paired with Niles, Ott, and Prilla, it makes for a really good rotation.
Exactly. I mean, like we talked about Lindsay and Jules' connection early on. I mean, I think you can throw Isabel Niles in there as well with either of those two, as well as Kelsey Meyer as well. I mean, just standout athletes for Baldwin girls basketball.
Lovis drives in and banks it in. She's got 4 points to lead the team.
Yeah, I was saying early on, she's taking a lot of their offensive shots.
What a pass from Lindsay to Lacey, but Lacey can't finish. Second chance at it, though, gets deflected out of bounds.
I think overall, I mean, for Lovis, she's shown consistent ability to want to go down and make a play, and she's by far been Albert Gallatin's standout girl so far here in the first half.
Niles gets it in, and Lacey tipped it to Lindsay. As Lindsay drives all the way in, sidestep move for the layup. So Lindsay scored 36 in the game against Trinity. How many do you think she's going to get tonight?
Well, if now the second half scares me because you're not going to get consistent looks because they're definitely going to go down the depth. But if you keep her in right now, she's at a rate of 30. I'd say with 2:53 left, that number could probably hit definitely 40.
And she forces a jump ball with the possession arrow favoring Baldwin. 2 substitutions for Baldwin as J.C. Howard comes in, a junior wearing number 4 up from the JV team. And Mia Schwarzmiller as well, sophomore guard wearing number 33.
Again, we talked about this is going to be a prime time for them and an example to show like next girl up, the ability to see they can still do different things and show that the future is still bright for Baldwin, just like with all the Bernardes sisters.
Leah Bernardes pulls for 3 off the back of the rim. Fight for the rebound. Howard can't save it.
I mean, early look, you got to take your shot. I mean, it's 44-6. You're not in a critical situation, so if it's not the most open shot, it's not really going to hurt you or affect you. I still think you got to play to the game of how you would any other opponent. No matter who you play, a winless opponent or an undefeated opponent should be executing or thinking in the same mindset.
Shea drives in, and a good defensive play from Briscoe. Up the floor to Howard for the layup. J.C. Howard, 2 varsity points.
Collecting a great reception from the bench, too, which is another fantastic thing to see, that no matter who's on the floor, everyone's getting the same amount of love on the team. And this is a close-knit team as well. Even Spain, the last year, there's smiles on the floor at all times, no matter what, winning or losing. So this team knows that they're a well-put-together community.
Weave action for Albert Gallatin as it's deflected out of bounds by Leah Bernardes. Lacey Bernardes will come in as Bella Niles goes off to the bench. 1:49 remaining in the half.
Kind of already seeing your bench players stepped in, and even a few other JV girls as well. You've already seen them start to step in. I'd expect to let these girls get a lot more of the minutes, especially as the night's going to continue to carry on, because Jules already has 12. Lindsay Bernardes has 15. And that's just without even playing with a full half.
Yeah, I would expect the second half as Leah Bernardes knocks it out of bounds to basically be maybe a couple of minutes for the starters, but mostly a lot of the reserves being able to get some valuable varsity minutes.
And this is a prime example, too, of allowing them to get those minutes, too, because, I mean, Lindsay and Jules have already hit their averages per game without playing a full half. I think overall this is a prime time for these girls to show and get those valuable minutes and experiences that there's a chance they're not going to be able to get later on down the year. However, the way Baldwin's rolling, I could be eating my words there.
Yeah, it was a great start to the season. 6 in a row, trying to make it 7 in a row tonight, where basically everything that they've wanted to do in a lot of the matchups this year have come to fruition. And it's Lacey Bernardes driving in, and Lacey lost it on the way up. They kick it to Aaliyah, who pulls for 3. And is able to get her own miss. Third chance at it doesn't go. And Albert Gallatin corrals the rebound, but it's out of bounds and will stay with the Colonials. It was last touch by Baldwin.
Yeah, you're just seeing a lot of different types of shot variety. I mean, the nice thing is even though Baldwin's not really finding them, you're finding a lot of different opportunities, looks, whether they're different mid-range floaters, deep threes, layups. Baldwin being a little different, showing a lot of variety of what they're able to shoot.
Lovis trapped. Was able to outlet. 3-point ball off the mark. Cortenmont, second chance at it. Rebound by Bernardus in the final minute. Lacey throws it up the floor to Howard. Howard to the corner. Schwarzmiller drives in, layup, no. Offensive rebound was blocked on the way up, but a second chance. Able to go for Briscoe. It's a 42-point lead. Shea gets fouled, no shot, and will be on the floor, and it's the first foul of the quarter. So they get Lacey Bernardus for her third foul. Baldwin has been called for 4 fouls in the game, and 3 of them were on Lacey Bernardus. Cortenmont will throw it in. Gets it to Shea, knocked away by Bernardus. Fight for it, results in a jump ball.
I almost think Shea had some sort of confusion, like a whistle was blown because the ball hit her feet and she kind of stood there. She didn't immediately go down for it. I think a shoe squeak might have confused for a whistle because I honestly thought there was something as well. However, Baldwin's able to go down and re-get a possession and have another chance to score before the half.
Schwarzmiller drives in and traveled. So 17.1 for Albert Gallatin to try to get a bucket before halftime. And they've scored 9 points in each of their last 2 games, and it's poked out of bounds. Myers throws it in. 2 different players there trying to grab the basketball. It's Samuel. And a push against J.C. Howard for her first. That's the second against Baldwin in the quarter. As Myers will throw it in, and Myers is able to outlet it to Shea. Shea with a runner to end the first half. 48-6. A dominant performance by the Baldwin Fighting Highlanders as we have reached halftime. A 42-point lead as Baldwin is pouring it on against Albert Gallatin. We'll see what the second half has to bring. Live here, Austin Bechtel and Ethan Spazarski on the Baldwin Sports Channel in partnership with TenbandTV.
Discover the heart of Pittsburgh at Mount Washington Shop and Save. At Mount Washington Shop and Save, we're more than just a grocery store. We're your neighborhood destination. From the freshest local produce to gourmet delights, we've got it all under one roof. Experience convenience, quality, and savings all in the heart of Mount Washington. Mount Washington Shop and Save, where Pittsburgh shops with a view. Shop smart, shop local, shop Mount Washington Shop and Save.
Play It Again Sports in Greensburg is your locally owned and operated sporting goods store. We set ourselves apart by offering a wide variety of both new and used equipment at competitive prices. Located in the Greengate East Plaza, below Walmart, Play It Again Sports' knowledgeable staff will help you and your family prepare for every athletic season. Whether you're looking to buy, sell, or trade, we are here as your one-stop shop. At Play It Again Sports in Greensburg, everybody plays.
Thank you for calling Penny, PA's health.
On the perimeter, stolen away right away by Bernardus. And Lindsay goes all the way in for the easy layup.
Yeah, Lindsay Bernardus coming off of a career game, 36-point affair.
The 3 ball that bounces just off the mark for Shea. And it's taken by Myers. Kelsey Meyer, bounce pass. Good find, then Isles for the layup.
Yeah.
Kelsey Meyer, bounce pass. Good find, then Niles for the layup.
Yeah, Isabella Niles, the last time we were out here, wasn't really producing a lot early on.
And a steal right up. And Shea is going to try to dribble out of it and does. Gets around Meyer. Shea swings across court. Inside, layup is good. Lindsay still has it, gives it up to Ott. Jules wide open three, left side wing in, drains it. Jules Ott first points at the arc. Off the mark and the rebound is corralled by Baldwin. It's Ott moving in transition. Great pass to Klingensmith and off one dribble. Layup spins in. Klingensmith the 5 for Baldwin. As Ott gets a screen from Meyer, rolls off of it. Kelsey with a good roll off the screen.
And Baldwin's just leading with each other. They're really communicating well offensively and finding a lot of different open looks.
Love this. Layup is good. Hit it on a good spot off the glass.
As well as Kelsey Meyer as well. I mean, just standout athletes for Baldwin girls basketball.
Lovis drives in and banks it in. She's got 4 points. Niles gets it in. And Lacey tipped it to Lindsay. As Lindsay drives all the way in. Sidestep move for the layup.
Discover the heart of Pittsburgh at Mount Washington Shop and Save. At Mount Washington Shop and Save, we're more than just a grocery store. We're your neighborhood destination. From the freshest local produce to gourmet delights, we've got it all under one roof. Experience convenience, quality, and savings all in the heart of Mount Washington. Mount Washington Shop and Save, where Pittsburgh shops with a view. Shop smart, shop local, shop Mount Washington Shop and Save.
Play It Again Sports in Greensburg is your locally owned and operated sporting goods store. We set ourselves apart by offering a wide variety of both new and used equipment at competitive prices. Located in the Greengate East Plaza, below Walmart, Play It Again Sports' knowledgeable staff will help you and your family prepare for every athletic season. Whether you're looking to buy, sell, or trade, we are here as your one-stop shop. At Play It Again Sports in Greensburg, everybody plays.
Thank you for calling Penny, PA's health insurance marketplace. How can I help you?
I need help paying my health insurance premiums.
You came to the right place. Penny gets you the lowest costs on high-quality plans.
Enroll now at penny.com. Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
wonderful day!
Welcome to Temple Strength and Sport Performance, where we empower you to reach new heights in strength, speed, and athletic performance. Temple is here to support you every step of the way. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned athlete, join him in Jefferson Hills, Pennsylvania, and discover the difference. For more information, call 412-527-1755. Start your journey with us today.
Do you have a favorite leather couch or chair that's damaged? Has your car, boat, or RV's interior seen better days? Maybe your business's furniture or your private aircraft's interior could use a little love. You're probably thinking replacement is going to be expensive. And what happens to the damaged piece after you throw it out? Does it just end up in a landfill? It doesn't have to. FiberNew specializes in the restoration of leather, plastic, and vinyl. To get an estimate, connect with us today.
For over 20 years, groups, families, and individuals have been saving money with the Avia Dental Plan.
For as little as $9.25 a month, members can save up to 50% or more on dental care.
Plus, everyone qualifies, and there is no waiting or limits on visits to the dentist.
Start saving today with the Avia Dental Plans.
Go to getlowcostdental.com or call 1-888-431-2273. Smile. You're with people who care.
Look at him, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, climbing his way through the corporate rat race. We've all been there, focused on that next raise, promotion, chocolate bar. Keeping an eye on your health can be exhausting. Weight Loss Direct is a personalized wellness and weight loss program. We utilize an AI algorithm to determine your specific foods and match you with a real-life coach and an easy-to-follow meal plan so you could stay on track to success and health. Check out weightlossdirect.com to learn more.
Hewitt creating space. Hewitt turning. Scoring! Marshall Hewitt has won the Penguins Cup championship for the Seneca Valley Raiders with 12:29 to play in triple overtime. And don't ever play Lady of Spain again.
Thank you for calling Penny, PA's official health insurance marketplace. How can I help?
Would preventative care and screenings be an option?
You came to the right place. Penny gets you the lowest cost on high-quality plans.
Enroll now at penny.com, paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
(48-6), a dominating performance by the Baldwin Fighting Highlanders on this Monday night doubleheader action with the boys taking on South Fayette. Coming up next right here on the Baldwin Sports Network, Austin Bechtold and Ethan Spazarski alongside as Jules Ott and Lindsey Bernatis are leading the way, both with more points than Albert Gallatin, doubling up the Colonials. Lindsey with 13 officially, Jules Ott with 12. Kelsey Meyer with 5, Isabella Niles with 6, Hannah Prillo with 2, as all 5 starters have scored for Baldwin. J.C. Klingensmith as well with 6 off the bench. J.C. Howard and Natalia Briscoe with 2 as well.
Yeah, 8 different scores for Baldwin is exactly what you want to see. We talked about the depth component and how early would it come into play. Came in with about 3 minutes left to go in the first half, and now it looks like it's going to be lingering over and carrying over. I don't imagine to see a lot of the starting 5 back out again. Because this is a prime time, like we said, to get some depth in for those different Baldwin girls who haven't gotten a lot of chances up to this point in the season. And now it's going to be interesting, and it's going to be a little closely contested match between the Colonial starters and the Baldwin's backups.
So they will start out with Lacey Bernatis, the lone senior on the floor. The lone starter for Baldwin out there is Hannah Prillo. As Albert Gallatin will attack the left side basket as you see it, and it's knocked out of bounds, but will stay here for Shea. As it's Swarsmiller into the game with Klingensmith, J.C. Howard, J.C. Klingensmith, Hannah Prillo, and Lacey Bernatis, the 5 for Baldwin. As it's Schwarzmiller. Almost forcing the steal. Shea drives, dishes to Klingensmith, who steals it away. J.C. Klingensmith looks up the floor for Schwarzmiller. Looks down low. Hannah Prilla's layup too strong. Offensive rebound for Klingensmith. Klingensmith sets it up. Schwarzmiller up top. Drives in, has a lane. Layup too strong. Prilla another offensive rebound and finishes.
I tell you what, I mean, there is so much different aggression coming out, and not in a term of anger, a term of just throwing up anything and getting every chance that they can possibly get. Baldwin, you're seeing that with Hannah Prilla, a few different layups. J.C. Klingensmith and her rebounding ability, they are everywhere, flying all over here early to start the second half.
Now we're also in the mercy rule running clock for the remainder of the second half as Shea spins and can't finish. Offensive rebound, though, up and good for Gibson.
Good way for Gibson, gets the rebound, doesn't waste any time, takes a slight turn to her left, throws one up.
Klingensmith pulls the trigger and hits for three. J.C. Klingensmith with 9 points.
Yeah, J.C. Klingensmith, I mean, starting in the second quarter when she saw some more minutes, really been a consistent offensive threat for Baldwin. I talked about her ability running around, being able to rebound and be quick. That time pulls the trigger from outside the arc, and it looked really good.
Shea trapped in the corner. Jump shot, good. Gibson, back-to-back buckets.
And just like that, I mean, Albert Gallatin scored 4 points. That's almost as much as they scored in the entire first half.
And Albert Gallatin has surpassed the point totals that it scored in its previous 2 section games as the shot from Howard is off the mark. Albert Gallatin only scored 9 against Bethel Park and 9 against TJ. The TJ game was at home. Levis drives in, blocked by Prilla. And a double dribble called on the Colonials.
I mean, it's something to note. Albert Gallatin down near the Pennsylvania State border, more farther down than Uniontown as well. Definitely a bit of a drive.
Yeah.
I mean, for Albert Gallatin, but not only that, but other section opponents, because you're going to play these other teams again, either in your place or their place, and it's an hour drive by itself just here to Baldwin from Albert Gallatin.
Howard able to hit for 2. J.C. Howard now with 4 points and a timeout called by Baldwin. So, out of the teams that are all in the section, a year ago, Peters Township started off with a bang and continued to ride their momentum all the way to a WPIAL championship game, beating South Fayette, who ended up winning the state championship. TJ finished at 9-3 with Baldwin at 8-4, 16-11 overall. Now this year, it's Baldwin, TJ. Peters is still going to threaten for the section, but you would think it's Baldwin, TJ, and Bethel, the main threats to take the section. And one thing that Jamal Woodson has continued to preach, remember for how many years it was with the boys, 1986, pounding it into their heads for as much as possible in practice. That is what we need to accomplish. Break down that barrier of 39 years. Well, the last time the girls have won a section title was 1983. And that's the same thing that Jeff Ackerman was doing, that Jamal Woodson is doing with the girls' team at practice, continuing to put it in their minds. This is our goal. This is what we want to accomplish, to be able to knock down that barrier and win the first section title in over 40 years. As Howard tries to track it down but can't, out of bounds.
That was a really good pass. I think it was just a little too much fast tempo with the speed that we were seeing Howard run at. She wasn't able to really corral it in as it rolled kind of through her feet. But like you said, I think the storyline and the narrative you saw last year for the boys is exactly what the girls are now. And now that the girls have had 2 years to really build and perfect it, going from 9-12 to 16-11, now 6-1 and counting, you're going to see that positive transition and at least a chance to contend to knock down that gigantic number of 1983.
Jump ball will keep the arrow with Baldwin, and that's the goal with it being TJ, one of the main teams in their way, with D'Angelo out this year for TJ, at least out for a considerable amount of time. I believe it's the season. We'll see TJ a little bit later on this year. Schwarzmiller drives in. Floater doesn't go. Offensive rebound goes to Niles, who's back in the game. Leah Bernardison as well. Schwarzmiller pulls the trigger in the corner, but it got deflected on the way there, and Prilla cleans up the mess.
Yeah, Hannah Prilla, really good job. Stands right there, doesn't overcommit to what's going off the rim. She reads the ball, grabs it out of midair, and then takes it up to the rack and collects for her 6th point of the night.
It's been 43 years for Baldwin, the last section title. It would be poetic and honestly just Schwarzmiller on the steal. Finishes the layup.
Really good shot for her. You could tell she slowed that down to her pace and what she needed to make the uncontested basket. Really well done.
It would be pretty incredible if the year after the boys broke a drought of 39 years without a section title, if the girls can break a drought of 43 years without a section title in back-to-back seasons.
No, I think you couldn't write a script better, and that's exactly what you need to see. And I think, like I said earlier on, I honestly believe that that's probably the best case scenario in what you've seen right now, because Baldwin stood the test of time so far against some pretty good opponents, but the best has yet to come. The harder competition is on its way.
First points for Michaela Shea as she hits the first free throw. Lacey Bernardes comes back on. Natalia Briscoe also in for Baldwin, as Prilla and Niles, the lone two seniors that were in the lineup, will go off to the bench. And both are good for Shea.
I think something else to note, too, is we haven't talked about, but Uniontown on this girls' side, they're hanging in there. They're competing 5-2 overall, 1-1 in section competition right now, technically tied overall record-wise with Bethel Park in that third-place spot, especially when they were towards the bottom of the list last year, a complete 180-degree turn.
Layup down low, doesn't go. Second chance, though. Put back up for the layup for Briscoe. (61-12). Here's Myers. And a foul is called on Schwarzmiller. Just the first on Mia Schwarzmiller, the sophomore guard.
I think with Schwarzmiller as well, something nice to note is you're kind of seeing that aggressive defense, that scheme sticks really well with her, and she's really paid off well. She's poked a few loose balls here early on.
Out of bounds as such by Aaliyah Bernardes. And tried for the steal again, but this time picks up a foul as they get Bernardes for her first.
Yeah, and you're hearing Coach Woodson yell, make sure you're communicating. Who do you all have on defense? Because, I mean, there hasn't been a lot of communication early on. Even with the high score and the large differential in points, you can't really change. You shouldn't be changing your scheme on what you stick true to your identity.
Myers in the corner, loses it. Fight for the loose ball. Results in a jump ball, keeping it here as Lacey Bernardes is still in. And it was actually a timeout that was called by Albert Gallatin, and that is the final timeout that Albert Gallatin has left in this game. Baldwin still has 3.
I mean, yeah, that's Albert Gallatin. You've seen it a few times with different jump balls, and it's all caused because, again, Baldwin's flying all over the place. And you mentioned earlier, looks like it's honestly a different pace than what Baldwin and Albert Gallatin are playing. It's kind of like watching a YouTube video in ×2 speed versus watching it half speed. It's Baldwin's playing with a lot more intensity.
It looks completely different.
No, yeah, there is a definite difference in playing styles, and again, that it does have a lot to do, especially with maybe even depth, different kind of schemes. But Albert Gallatin they're also playing in a different place right now than where Baldwin is. Baldwin, as we said, they're contesting for fighting for a section title, where Albert Gallatin's continuing to work and find themselves and continue to move in the right direction for their basketball program as a whole.
And this is the final home game for Baldwin until the calendar flips to 2026, when the Highlanders will host Bethel Park on January 9th. But 2 games before that, in the Betsy Invitational at Elizabeth Forward, will play against McKeesport the day after Christmas at 4:15, followed by Uniontown on the road on January 6th, the first road section game for Baldwin of the season. So 2 very difficult games back-to-back. January 9th at home against Bethel, and then at TJ on the 12th.
Yeah, and that's exactly the new year. You're going to see that there's going to be a bigger challenge for Baldwin, because not that the teams they haven't played so far have brought in a good test, but you're seeing the higher-level competition come up on that flipped schedule, too, because, I mean, Thomas Jefferson sits first in this section. You're going to start playing Bethel Park right behind them, third in the section. There's a lot more competition on its way.
3-pointer way off the mark for Shea as it goes out of bounds, and the clock will run inside a minute left in the third quarter. So TJ is the final section opponent that Baldwin will play before we flip the schedule, and all the games that you played at home against section opponents will then go on the road. And Baldwin played a ton of home games to start section plays. It's a good find from Bernardes, but blocked on the way up. Briscoe's shot, no good, but a steal from Schwarzmiller. And Schwarzmiller tried to gather. Couldn't put it up, though, as Shea takes it away.
Yeah, I mean, I think the speed kind of caught up to Baldwin a little bit because Schwarzmiller collects it, but then as soon as she collects her rebound working fast in transition, she runs into Shea, and I mean, the ball bounces off of her legs, and Albert Gallatin is able to regain possession.
And Aaliyah Bernadas was able to knock out of bounds the last play, mainly known for her defense. As the clock stops with 4.4 left due to the foul. It's the fifth on Baldwin in the quarter, going on Aaliyah Bernadas for her second. Lindsay Bernadas and Lacey Bernadas more the scoring threats in the family. It's Aaliyah more the defense-first player. As Michaela Shea will go back to the free throw line. 2 for 2 today. And got the third. With 4.4. She's got them both. See if Baldwin can get up one more shot. With Howard needing to go quick. Tries to get it to Lacey. Off in time and just off the mark. In a 61-14 game, we go to the fourth quarter on the Baldwin Sports Channel on TenbandTV.
Discover the heart of Pittsburgh at Mount Washington Shop and Save. At Mount Washington Shop and Save, we're more than just a grocery store. We're your neighborhood destination. From the freshest local produce to gourmet delights, we've got it all under one roof. Experience convenience, quality, and savings all in the heart of Mount Washington. Mount Washington Shop and Save, where Pittsburgh shops with a view. Shop smart, shop local, shop Mount Washington Shop and Save.
Back for the fourth, Austin Bechtold, Ethan Zwazarski alongside an TenbandTV crew against Albert Gallatin. The Fighting Highlanders continue to put together a really solid performance with 61 points up on the board. Baldwin's high on the season, 63. Scored against Trinity on Saturday. And a foul is called, on pace to break that. They've hit 61 points exactly against Pine Richland. So 2 games with 61 plus points. And with 8 minutes and counting to be able to add on more, should be the highest scoring output. Schwarzmiller defends Shea, who drives in, and Shea loses the basketball, but he'll stay here.
Yeah, in section right now, Baldwin scoring 121 total points. They're averaging 69 points per game in section opponents. They've already eclipsed that total essentially, and defensively only allowing 52. Albert Gallatin's not going to they're most likely not going to hit that number so far tonight. But overall, Baldwin averaging 53 points per game. It's nice to see that even with the opponent, you're not taking anything lightly. You're able to play consistently throughout. And Baldwin's been able to win by their games by almost 8 points each time.
J.C. Klingensmith comes back in and immediately makes her presence felt as she knocks the inbounds pass out of bounds. So they'll do it again, and this time they'll have Lovis throw it in to Shea. And Shea drives, poked free. Will stay with Albert Gallatin, though. And up top, three-point ball up, and misses everything for Emily Goodwin, a freshman into the game. Offensive rebound goes to the Colonials. And John Woodson not happy that the Fighting Highlanders are not grabbing the basketball because Albert Gallatin has had multiple different chances at the possession.
Exactly, because, Baldwin's, in a sense, they're taking the foot off the gas there, and Albert Gallin's playing with a high intensity no matter the score. So, Baldwin's going to have to pick up the tempo, and now it's kind of funny. We're talking about Baldwin's speed not being exactly on.
Stolen away by Bernadas off the errant pass. Lacey looks down low, was trying to find Aaliyah, wasn't there, though. And a jump ball is called, keeping the arrow here. Kiera Gibson subs in for Albert Gallatin, a 5'6" freshman wearing number 21. As they get it into Briscoe, and Albertatis drives in. Lacey's shot, takes a couple of hops and off the rim. And it's out of bounds, last touch by Baldwin.
Baldwin in the third quarter scored 25 total points I mean, Lindsey Bernanis, by the way, and Joel Zott pretty much almost in the first half alone scored that much by themselves. So, I mean, just goes to show and note that, I mean, A, the talent that you have in your starting lineup, but B, that there's a lot of potential with these different girls, with you're seeing 5 different girls rather score.
Bernanis with the steal. Lacey to Aaliyah, who gets blocked on the way up. Good defensive play by Samuel, the sophomore guard.
Yeah, there it is again. I mean, Albert Gallatin playing with a different level of intensity than Baldwin, no matter what the score is. You're seeing that consistently early on.
Klingon-Smith throws it in to Bernanis. Lacey pulls for 3 and got it. First points for Lacey Bernanis of the night. Lovis drives in, floater off the back of the rim. Klingon-Smith fights for the defensive rebound and is able to grab it down. We're just fighting with Lacey Bernanis for stats there. Trying to see who was going to pull down the rebound. Aaliyah Bernanis drives in and finishes. (66-14). Just about half the quarter gone by. Howard with the defense against Shea. To the corner they go. Goodwin pulls and hits. Emily Goodwin for 3.
Now Albert Gatlin's find more people. 3 different girls have scored in the second half, where in the first only 2 scored.
And Baldwin is calling a substitution timeout to get Hannah Prillo back in the game. As Lacey Bernanis goes off. So 3:52 to go in the fourth. Howard over to Bernanis. Aaliyah Bernanis down low, stolen away. Lovis drives in. Shot off the mark, rebounded by Briscoe. Bernatis to Klingon-Smith, and it's turned over. And as Jamal Woodson said, don't turn the ball over. Aaliyah Bernatis turns the ball over and immediately goes over to the bench as Schwarzmiller comes back on.
Yeah, I mean, now you're kind of seeing more sloppy play, kind of leaking a Baldwin's playing style, which, I mean, Jamal Woodson's made clear he doesn't really want to see from anybody, no matter who you are or what you're going to do, because he will continue to rotate you. We've seen that a lot in the second half. You still got to be able to execute and play at that high level that Baldwin is known for and the ability that they've shown.
Samuel drives in, dishes down low. Gibson turns and spins in. The shot for Kiera Gibson. And Albert Gallatin has scored the most points that it has all season long in section play. Hannah Prillo gets the bucket to go. The previous high was 18 against Uniontown. Klingon-Smith for the steal. When it stays with Albert Gallatin. Klingon-Smith still trying to poke it loose, and does. To Howard, back to Klingon-Smith. And JC spins in the layup, almost missed it.
It's worth noting as well, I mean, besides Laurel Highlands with 31 points there, I mean, it's also worth noting Baldwin has had their depth players in since that late second quarter as well. A lot of those stats have come against those girls, but still for Albert Gallatin able to find some more continuous pieces. You're kind of continuing to find that identity that I know that Albert Gallin's trying to continue to follow as off to the struggling start here early on.
Let's take some people behind the curtain. Player of the game, what are you thinking?
Right now, if you want starters, I mean, I think you could, whether you go Lindsay or Jules, obviously, but if we're going down towards the depth, I mean, J.C. Klingon-Smith, to me, has been player of the game consistent.
Schwarzmiller off the front of the rim, off at the rebound to Prilla. Klingon-Smith on the fake, traveled. But despite that, I think J.C. Klingon-Smith should be the one we talk to today.
I absolutely agree. I think that's a correct call because not only she scored 11 points, but also I talked about it, just flying all over the place. She's been playing at the same pace the entire night, no matter who's on the floor or what she's doing.
Only player to score in all 4 quarters tonight for Baldwin with 11 as we're inside the final minute. Albert Gallatin's next game will come after Christmas in the Beth Center tournament, playing against Beth Center and also playing against Obama Academy. The Beth Center game on the 27th, this upcoming Saturday at 8, and then on Sunday against Obama Academy at 3 o'clock.
And then flipping over to the new year on January 5th, it's going to be a tough opponent against Peters Township.
And they will host Peters. That's Briscoe. High off the glass, can't go. Rips down the road, missed though, as Schwarzmiller gets another chance in the corner. Offensive board to Prilla. Klingesmith to Howard. Howard drives. Trying to avoid the travel. Gives it up to Klingensmith. Klingensmith with 5 seconds will just back it out. And the Baldwin Fighting Highlanders come away with a 70-19 dominant performance. They take care of business. Everyone stays healthy. And we wish you a Merry Christmas. As the Fighting Highlanders improve now to 7-1 overall. 3-0 in section play. As Baldwin, after that loss against Shadyside Academy in the first game of the season, Baldwin has now won 7 games in a row. And another solid performance where in this one you do your best to be able to take care of business, play solid fundamentally, play good defense. And when you can put together an all-around solid performance, this is the outcome that you get with a 70-19 final score. J.C. Klingensmith joins us now, our player of the game, 11 points. J.C., what did it take to be able to get it done today?
I mean, I think we've just been practicing really good, and we definitely shared the ball as a team way more.
How cool is it to be able to play out there as well with some of the other players that don't get a lot of time in the varsity minutes late in the fourth quarter?
It's, like, really meaningful because we always share, like, a close team bond. And that this year it's like been the best it's ever been.
Yeah,
and
so as a veteran on this team, why do you think that is, that this is the year that really everything's starting to come together?
I think we all have the leadership, and we all can take criticism and go from it to go positive towards the court.
What's it like playing with this group of seniors?
I really enjoy it. I've been with them since 3rd grade, all on our travel team together, AAU, and we've been through it all together.
So what was so critical, because Jamal talked about that first game against Shadyside Academy being one that you guys tried to move on so quickly from. How have you been able to do that for now this 7-game winning streak?
I think that every practice we take it so serious, and anything we do wrong, we correct in film, and we keep going over it so we know to do better next time.
JC, appreciate the time.
All right, thank you guys.
Baldwin wins it 70-19. JC Klingensmith, 11 points for the senior guard off the bench for Baldwin, and a really solid performance with 4 points in the first quarter, added another 2 in the second, added a triple in the third. 11 overall for J.C. Klingensmith, as she was the third leading scorer, with Lindsey Bernardis having 13 all in the first half. Jules Ott as well with 12. The leading scorers for Baldwin, who did not play in the second half, as the starting lineup other than Niles and Prilla did not see the floor, and Joel Woodson giving Bernardis, Ott, and Meyer some rest just to be able to keep their legs fresh and maybe do what the Steelers are going to do if Baltimore loses on Saturday, and maybe just play the first half against Cleveland and then sit that game and then sit the Ravens game and welcome to the playoffs. But that's what Baldwin has done in this game. We take care of business as well as they did in the first half, and that was the critical part of it. It creates the effect that the starters just don't have to come back in.
Yeah, overall, I mean, I think first we'll touch on Baldwin. I think you're able to give a lot of girls some really good time because you don't know exactly when you're going to get that, because there's, besides another game versus Albert Gallatin, there's not a lot of openings overall in the schedule. There's a lot of really good competition that Baldwin's going to be facing off against. And then overall, now touching on that Steelers point, it'll be interesting to see. There's no guarantee in the NFL. I mean, they also have a bigger pool and are able to have more of a chance to decide what they want to play. I mean, again, Tomlin's going to have the end-all be-all there, but it'll be interesting to see what goes on. But nonetheless, fantastic win for Baldwin no matter who they play.
Final score, Baldwin wins it 70-19 against Albert Gallatin. Colonials now 0-7 on the year, 0-4 in section play. Baldwin has won 7 in a row. They improved to 7-1 and now 3-0 in Section 4 of 5A. For Ethan Spazarski and our entire TenbandTV crew, I'm Austin Bechtold saying so long from Baldwin High School from Game 1 of our doubleheader. Game 2, the boys take the floor against South Fayette, coming up next here on the Baldwin Sports Channel. On the perimeter, stolen away right away by Bernardis. And Lindsay goes all the way in for the easy layup.
Yeah, Lindsay Bernardes coming off of a career game, 36-point affair.
Ball that bounces just off the mark for Shea, and it's taken by Myers. Kelsey Meyer, bounce pass, good find, then Isles for the layup.
Yeah.
Kelsey Meyer, bounce pass, good find, then Isles for the layup.
Yeah, Isabella Niles, last time we were out here, wasn't really producing a lot early on.
And a steal right up. And Shea is going to try to dribble out of it and does. Gets around Meyer. Shea swings across court. Inside, layup is good. Lindsay still has it, gives it up to Ott. Jules wide open three, left side wing in, drains it. Jules Ott first points at the arc. Off the mark, and the rebound is corralled by Baldwin. It's Ott moving in transition. Great pass to Klingensmith and off one dribble. Layup spins in. Klingensmith the 5 for Baldwin. As Ott gets a screen from Meyer, rolls off of it. Kelsey with a good roll off the screen.
And Baldwin's just leading with each other. They're really communicating well offensively and finding a lot of different open looks.
Love this. Layup is good. Hit it on a good spot off the glass.
As well as Kelsey Meyer as well. I mean, just standout athletes for Baldwin girls basketball.
Lovis drives in and banks it in. She's got 4 points. Niles gets it in. And Lacey tipped it to Lindsay. As Lindsay drives all the way in. Sidestep move for the layup. Klingensmith sets it up. Schwarzmiller up top. Drives in, has a lane. Layup too strong. Prilla another offensive rebound and finishes.
I tell you what, I mean, there is so much. Gets the rebound, doesn't waste any time, takes a slight turn to her left, throws one up.
Klingensmith pulls the trigger and hits for 3. JC Klingensmith with 9 points.
From outside the arc, and it looked really good.
Shea trapped in the corner. Jump shot, good. Gibson, back-to-back buckets. Only scored 9 against Bethel Park and 9 against TJ. The TJ game was at home. Lovis drives in, blocked by Prilla. Poetic and honestly just Schwarzmiller on the steal. Finishes the layup.
There's a lot of potential with these different girls, with you're seeing 5 different girls rather score.
Bernardes with the steal. Lacey to Aaliyah, who gets blocked on the way up.
Seeing that consistently early on.
Klingensmith throws it in to Bernardes. Lacey pulls for 3 and got it.
For the ability that they've shown.
Samuel drives in, dishes down low. Gibson turns and spins in. The shot for Kiera Gibson. But it stays with Albert Gallatin. Klingensmith still trying to poke it loose and does. To Howard, back to Klingensmith. And JC spins in the layup, almost missed it.
Fantastic win for Baldwin no matter who they play.
Final score, Baldwin wins it 70-19 against Albert Gallatin. Colonials now 0-7 on the year, 0-4 in section play. Baldwin.